You're listening to the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast, episode number 46.
Welcome to the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast. Business advice so easy, you'll feel like you're cheating. And now your host, Amy Porterfield.
Hey there, Amy Porterfield here, and welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast. Today's going to be a lot of fun because we, my friend, are going on a treasure hunt. Now, let me give you a little backstory before we get into this. When I was little, I used to read this book series called Piggle Wiggle. And Piggle Wiggle was a story about a mom with a bunch of kids, and they lived in an upside down house. And when money was tight for Mrs. Piggle Wiggle, she would send all her kids through the house to find gold or hidden treasures. And when I was little, I thought, this is so cool. If I ever need money, all I have to do is go through my house and just find it everywhere. Oh, if it was only that easy, right? But as an entrepreneur, this story actually has stuck with me because I firmly believe that you have hidden money opportunities throughout your business that if you just dig a little bit deeper, you could easily find them. Now, as an entrepreneur, there are going to be times when cash is tight. Maybe you're just starting out, your business is not exactly where you want it to be right now, and so you're a little concerned about the cash flow. Or maybe you've been at it for a while, but you want to invest in some kind of new business tool or business opportunity, and you need a little cash before you do so. If that's the case, then these hidden money opportunities will definitely speak to you. So throughout this entire episode, I'm actually going to reveal 5 very specific hidden money opportunities that I've used in my own business that you can too model to see a quicker cash flow instead of having to work on something for months and months to realize the actual revenue flow from it. Also, as always, I've been having a lot of fun with these freebies that I've been offering with every podcast episode. And I think you've been enjoying them too because it's been amazing, the feedback and the number of people that are opting in to get my free PDF giveaways. As you know, each podcast has its own very specific PDF giveaway, and I'm going to tell you all about the free guide in this episode when I dive into the very first hidden money opportunity. So listen for that because it's a good one. And I think it's very valuable for where most of us are in our business right now. So I'll give you the freebie in the very first hidden money opportunity. Now, before we dive in, this episode is brought to you by Lead Pages. So I'll have you listen to a little ditty and then we will dive in. Okay, so here we go. This episode is brought to you by Lead Pages, the only tool I use daily to grow my email list. Lead Pages is the easiest landing page generator I've ever used. I love it because there's no coding or design skills needed. If you want to come behind the scenes with me and see which 3 landing pages have skyrocketed my email list and watch me actually set up a lead page in less than 10 minutes, go to amyporterfield.com/new leads to download my mini training video. It's totally free. So that's amyporterfield.com/new leads. I'll see you there. Let's go ahead and dive into hidden money opportunity number 1. This one is all about finishing your online training program. Now, notice I said the word finishing because this hidden money opportunity is for those of you who have started an online training program, have been working on an idea for one, or you're almost finished with one, but it still hasn't been put out there to the world. Now, if I could steal a term from Seth Godin, ship it, get it out there. Because the thing is, it's sitting there, it's not done yet, and you could be getting so much momentum from this online training program. Now, even if you need to put it out there in a beta test and get some feedback from people, that's even a good thing to do. I'm currently doing that with a Facebook ads program I have. I haven't started selling it, but before I worked on it anymore, I wanted to make sure I got feedback and I wanted to make sure it was right for my ideal audience. So I put it in a beta test and you can do the same. So the thing is, if this is a training program that's been on your mind for a while, but you just haven't actually gotten it out there to everybody, remember that you do not need a million bells and whistles to make it great. Now, if you're anything like me, you might have a whole bunch of online training programs in your digital library. And if you've purchased some really quality ones, that might be intimidating you because I've seen some really pro online training programs, ones that look amazing and there's a lot of bells and whistles to enrich your experience throughout the program. I love those programs, but that's not where you need to start if this is your first online training program. I say start with an introductory product, maybe a few videos, the transcripts, maybe a PDF of your slide decks, and maybe some supporting documents, and that's it. The thing is, if you really know your content well, if you have something to teach and you know you can add value to your ideal audience, you do not need all those bells and whistles. So I want to make a challenge for you, and that is, if you've been working on a program or you have an idea for one and you know that you can get it done, set a completion date. Now, for those of you that want to be really aggressive, set a completion date that you will get that online training program done in 30 days. And then if you need to work a little bit on the promotion of it, give yourself 30 days to work on the promotion of it and get it out there. It doesn't need to be a huge launch. My business dramatically changed when I finally just got a product out there. Now, my very first online training program actually had nothing to do with Facebook. It was a program to help authors launch their book online. I had worked with some authors. I knew some things that could really help. So I put together this program. It took a long time to get it out there, and I wish I would have done it sooner because once it went live, I got great feedback. I knew what my audience liked, what they didn't like. I knew instantly that I didn't necessarily love that topic. So that was a big eye opener for me. And I knew what I needed to do next time. You'll never move forward if you don't get something out there and just get the feedback that you need. Plus, you're going to sell some of these programs. And so because of that, that's that instant revenue that you're looking for. Now, if you're struggling to get the project done, I want to tell you about a brand new resource I've been using. My good friend Devin Duncan sent me this book called Scrum. I'll put a link to it in my show notes. But this book is all about project management. And I really just instantly fell in love with the process because I'm a process kind of girl anyway. I love project management systems. I like organizing data. So that's kind of in my blood anyway. But even if it's not part of your DNA, I think this book could be very valuable to get things done. In the book, the author talks about these 2-week sprints where you only focus on specific tasks for, let's say, 1 week or 2 weeks, and that's all you do. And your goal is to completely complete them so that they could stand on their own. And then you come together with your small team or big team. I have a really small team, so it might just be me and my assistant, Travinia. We come together and say, okay, what did we get done? We review it all. We talk about where we might have had a challenge, where we can improve. I mean, it's a 15-minute conversation. And then we go on our next 1 week or 2 week sprint. I like to do 1 week sprints because when you're an entrepreneur and you're building an online business, I think things move a little bit quicker in shorter spurts. So I do these 1 week sprints with my team and with myself. What I love about this book is that it's allowed me to not multitask as much as I have been. I am super guilty of doing a million things at once. And really, if you get down to the core of it, it makes me not enjoy any of it because I can't really put my heart and soul into anything when I've got 12 things I'm trying to do at once. So I did it this last week. This book is something I just recently read, and I am obsessed with it now because you would be amazed how much more quality work I got done when I was just focusing on what was in my sprint for that week. My assistant Travinia loves it as well. So if you can get you and your small team on board with this process of Scrum, I think you will be pleasantly surprised in terms of how much you get done. And if you've been sitting on this online training program for a while, this book is going to speak to you for sure. I think you're going to be just as excited as I was when I started to really dive into it. And let me give you one more tip. I'm going totally off my outline. This is not something I put in my outline, but I was very proud of myself recently because sometimes business books don't hold my full attention. And this business book, although it was really good, it was written by a guy in the military, and a lot of his examples were about government and military, and that just doesn't necessarily get me excited to want to keep reading. I just don't relate completely. And so there were parts of the book that were not necessarily keeping my attention, but I knew that the content was so good. I had to go from start to finish in this book and really get it. So what I did is I got the Audible file. So I belong to Audible and I get one free book, not free, I pay for it, one book a month. And I actually had the physical book because my friend Devin sent it. And so I put the Audible version on and I put it at 1.25. So I made the guy talk a little bit faster than he was because he was pretty much of a slow talker. So I put it at 1.25 and then I just followed along in the book. So I was listening to someone kind of read the book to me, but I was also following along because sometimes when I want to really understand a book and I just listen to the audio, I miss so much of it because I start daydreaming or trying to work on something while I'm listening to it and it doesn't get my full attention. So I needed to follow along in the book. I needed to take notes and highlight and all that good stuff. But because someone was reading it in my head, I stayed fully focused. I got through it in just the weekend, and I'm so glad I did. So if you ever need a little extra incentive to get through a book because you know it's valuable, but it might not be fully entertaining to you, then listening to the audio and following along in the book just might be your ticket to success. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it works really well. Okay, so here's the deal. Let's get back to this hidden treasure number 1, which is finishing your online training program. If you have not thought about adding an online training program to your whole business model just yet, if it's not something you've really taken any action on just yet, then this is not the hidden treasure for you because a lot of work goes into these online training programs. It's not something I suggest you create over the weekend. And so if you haven't yet gone down this road, I think you'd be very interested in the free PDF giveaway that I created for this episode. So it's called A Course Creation Starter's Guide. And basically, I created it to get you moving in the right direction for your program. Now, quite honestly, even if you're already working on your online training program, there's a section in this guide called the 7 Power Tools. And they're the 7 tools I use with every single online training program I create. And so if you're looking for some ways to be a little bit more efficient in how you deliver this program or how you create it, you definitely want this freebie as well. So again, it's all about creating an online training program just to get you started in the right direction. So if you want to get your hands on it, all you need to do is go to amyporterfield.com/46 download. So that's amyporterfield.com/46 download. Or you can text 46 download to the number 38470. So just text 46 download to the number 38470 and I will send you access right away. So it's a really good giveaway, very valuable. I spend a lot of time on creating these free giveaways for you. So hopefully you'll grab yours and let me know what you think. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into hidden money opportunity number 2, which is creating a mini promotion and making an offer instantly. Now, inside this hidden treasure, I actually have 3 different ways that you can do this. The first way is a webinar. Now, if you've ever followed any of my content, you know that I am a huge proponent of using webinars to build your business, but they don't have to be so overwhelming and stressful as you might think. So if you've been thinking about possibly creating a webinar for one of your existing programs, products, or services, then this one might pique your interest. So here's the deal. You can do this live, or you can do a version of this called Evergreen or an automated webinar. So first, if you're doing it live, you either want to use GoToWebinar or Google Hangouts. Actually, there's some other live tools you can use, but I haven't used them, so I'm not going to recommend those. So I use GoToWebinar, or you can use Google Hangouts to do them live as well. And then if you want to do an automated webinar, meaning you record it in advance and then you let people sign up for different dates and times because it's recorded already, well, then I use Evergreen Business Systems. There's also a tool called Stealth Seminars that you can use as well. I'll put all of these links in the show notes at amyporterfield.com/46. Now, if you're thinking about doing a webinar, there are some very specific areas that you want to spend the most time and focus on. And so I thought to make this more actionable for you, I'm going to give you some specifics in terms of how to create and promote your webinar. The first thing you want to think about when you are doing a webinar is, of course, the content. Spend some time outlining the content. And in my world, what I do is I usually do a webinar for about 90 minutes. And the first 60 minutes, or at least the first 45 minutes, is pure content. If the program's more expensive, like a $1,000 program, I usually will do 60 minutes of pure content where I'm explaining what the challenges that I know that they're facing. I'm setting things up in a way that they really understand where the opportunities are. I'm teaching them something that they can walk away from my webinar and get action with. My goal is always, if you don't buy my program at the end of the webinar, you still can apply some of the content that I taught you and get results. So I really, really spend a lot of time on the free content that I give away in that webinar. Now, so you want to focus on the content, but you also want to focus on the flow of the content inside your webinar. There truly is an art and a science in terms of how you set up a webinar, because the science is basically the strategy you're using to go from content to a sales promotion. And so you really want to get specific and strategic about how that works. I'll talk about that in a moment. But the art to me is the flow of the content. And that includes using images, not putting a bunch of text on a slide. And the number of slides you are using makes a huge difference if that webinar is going to convert. So in my very first webinar that I did, I had about 25 slides for a full 60-minute webinar. Not nearly enough. If you have, let's say, 20 to 25 slides for a 60-minute webinar, you likely have way too much text on each of those slides. You definitely don't have enough imagery, and you're going to overload people per slide, and you're going to lose their attention because when you stay on a slide more than about a minute, they're going to start multitasking. So your goal is to be switching slides regularly, pretty consistently. Use a lot of imagery, not a lot of cheesy stock photo, but there's some great sites out there now that you can find really beautiful imagery. Big Stock Photo is one of the tools that I use, and I think they've got some good imagery in there, but you want to be using a lot of imagery. And I say, if you're doing a 60-minute webinar, that you want at least 80 slides. Did I just freak you out? I know that's a lot, but a slide might have 1 or 2 words on it just to punctuate your point. You don't want basically your entire script on the slide and you just read it word for word. So you want people to engage and be with you. So you're constantly just switching slides, keeping their attention. So just something to think about. Now, in addition, what I mentioned earlier is that you want to make sure that you are aligning your content with your sales offer. So at the end of the webinar, you are going to promote a program, product, or service. Let's pretend it's a $97 product, which is usually how I use my webinars. So you want to make sure that, let's say you have the first 45 minutes is all content. At least the last 15 minutes, you're talking about your program, product, or service and what's in it for them. And then I encourage you to open it up for Q&A. And so when you are actually going into the sales process, what I like to do is I like to say something like, so do you see just how powerful Facebook marketing can be for your business? There are so many different things that you can do with Facebook marketing to get real results. But now you have a choice. You can either do it yourself and probably stumble along the way because Facebook changes all the time, or you can use me as your trusted advisor, someone to hold your hand along the way as I show you step by step how to do some of these major strategies that I just showed you in this webinar. So in the webinar, I'm giving them, that was my script. So I'm stepping out of the script now. Now I'm talking to you. In my webinar, I am giving them the what. What is it? Why is it important to them? Where in this whole process should they care about Facebook? So I give them the what, and my program teaches the how. So that's kind of the distinction you want to make. But when you're doing the what, you're giving some really, really solid data that they understand, they get the importance of it, and they see how it could work in their business. So going from a content-rich webinar to the sales process definitely is a fine art that you need to ease into. It takes a little time. My first probably 20 webinars were ridiculous compared to how easy I can get into the sales process now. Now, in the sales process, you want to make sure that there is some scarcity. So when you are promoting on your webinar, one of the things I love to do is actually embed a countdown timer into my Keynote slides. So I use Keynote. I don't use PowerPoint, but you can do this in PowerPoint or Keynote. Just research it, Google it to find out more. But you can put an actual moving timer in the final slide. And so I always say for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to take some live Q&A. And I always have a few questions on the side ready in case people aren't ready to ask questions. I know the questions most people ask, so I get those ready in advance. And then I let them ask questions and say, for the next 15 minutes, if you buy while we're on this webinar, you get this fast action bonus. So I make it worth their while to take action now. I don't want to lose them. I don't want them to get off the webinar and think about it later. I want them to make that buying decision now because I know my program will get them results. So I always offer some kind of fast action bonus like a cheat sheet or a checklist or something related to what I just taught them so that they have an incentive to buy now. The countdown timer, the fact that it's moving, really gets people to take action. And then lastly, if you're going to create a webinar, what's extremely important is the email series that follows after the webinar. I typically send out a replay. So that usually is my first email. But in that replay email where I'm linking them to go check it out if they missed it or want to watch it again, I always say, and on the webinar, I mentioned my brand new program. Here's what it's about. So I use that very first follow-up email to talk about the program I promoted on the webinar. And then I send a series of probably 3 more emails that's encouraging them to buy. I talk about the benefits of the program, what's in it for them. I give them case studies. So the emails to follow that webinar are all about why they can't live without my program or product. See how that works? So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with webinars. I know that sounds like a lot of information, but this is something you can do within a week. If you already have a program or product you want to promote, a webinar, you can put that together within a week for sure. So that can be that hidden treasure to get that cash flow going sooner. Now, I wouldn't do an automated webinar if you want to do it quickly. The live webinars are easier because obviously you're going to set a date. You're going to fill up those webinars. And one way to do that, I forgot to mention this, is with Facebook ads. So I use Facebook ads to fill up all of my webinars. And what I do is I create a very specific post called an unpublished page post ad. And I use that to promote my webinar. In the show notes at amyporterfield.com/46, I'll show you an example of an ad I'm running right now for a program that's called Jumpstart Your Facebook Marketing. It's like my Facebook 101 program that I just recreated, and I've been running ads to it consistently. This one happens to be an evergreen one, so it's a recorded webinar. But if you want to see how this process is done, you can actually sign up for my webinar, not because you want the product, but just because you want to see how it's all done. I'll add a link to the show notes where you could sign up for my webinar, watch the webinar, and then watch how I weave the content and the sales process, and then really pay attention to the emails that follow. I am making about $2,000 a day from this webinar using Facebook ads, promoting it, filling it up, growing my list daily because of the Facebook ads. So this stuff works really, really well. I'm not saying you're going to make $2,000 a day in the beginning, but there is a process here that I've just kind of outlined briefly that you can follow to get that consistent revenue going. So if you want to check it out, definitely I'll give you all the details on my show notes because that one you want to study a little bit to jump into it. Now, I actually said in the beginning of this number 2 hidden money opportunity that there's 3 ways to create a mini promotion and offer something. So webinars are the first way. I went into more detail there because that's what I know the best. But you can also do a live mini training. And this is something that you truly can do next week if you have a program, product, or service already. So David Siteman Garland and I did this about a year ago. We actually worked together on a process that worked really well for both of us. It was a way to build your email list and sell something fairly quickly. We used Facebook ads and we used another strategy to do it. So we actually had like a full overall strategy that we wanted to teach people from start to finish. And so we decided to create a 2-hour live training where David and I did it together. We charged $297 for it, and we both emailed our list. Even if you have a small list, which at the time, David's list was a lot smaller than mine, and he did really, really well with this. I think probably just equally well as my own list because David has a very, very responsive list because he's worked really hard on making sure he has that connection with his audience. So even small lists do well with this kind of thing. So we created a very specific training. We did it with GoToWebinar. And then when we did it live, we recorded it. And whoever signed up, even if they didn't make it live, as long as they bought a ticket to the live show, they got the recording, they got the PDF of our slide deck, they got the audio, and they got some support documents like cheat sheets and checklists to help them along the way. So it was this live mini training that we did on a specific day for 2 hours. We sold tickets to it. And then we also recorded it and gave the recordings to anybody who enrolled in this live training. It was really, really valuable. I think it was probably $60,000 or $70,000. It took us about 1 week to create the live training and then 1 week to promote it. So in 2 weeks, we were able to do this. And what's great is we did it together because we have very, very similar audiences that are aligned. And David and I kind of do well together in terms of kind of riffing off each other. So we have a good energy. So it was a really great partnership. I'm not a huge fan of doing tons of partnerships in my business, but something like this, where it's just like a quick in and out, great idea. So you can do it alone too. You don't have to have someone to do it with you, but live mini trainings that you sell tickets to and then you give the recording to, really great. Just for the record, when I say live, I don't mean in person. And I keep saying selling tickets. So that sounds like you're doing an event. I just mean online live event. I'm sure you knew that, but I just wanted to clarify. Okay. So the third way for you to do a mini promo and then make an offer is through what I call the 30-day challenge. Now, I have never done this, but I am such a fan of these, and I definitely want to do this down the road. So a 30-day challenge is where you get people enrolled in kind of like a movement with you, and they opt in to go on this journey with you for 30 days. And then at the end, you promote whatever it is you want to offer. Now, I'm going to give you 3 examples of really great 30-day challenges. And then, of course, you can go to my show notes and click on these links and go check out how they've done them. Now, I will say that 30-day challenges are live for a certain time and then they're not. So a few of them might not be live. So I'll link to some examples of what it looked like when they were live. So one is from the ladies at Simple Green Smoothies, and they do a 30-day challenge for creating a green smoothie every day for 30 days. They do really, really well. They run Facebook ads to the challenge. They build up their list like rock stars. And then at the end, of course, they promote, I think it's an ebook or some kind of guide for smoothies. And they do super, super well. Another one is the Money Love Challenge from my good friend Kate Northrup. And she just recently did this, and she said she's had amazing success. Tons of engagement. People are excited about it. And she actually did this one not to sell something at the end, but to just start building her list with quality people that actually care about what she's putting out there. But she could definitely promote to them at the end. And then my good friend Natalie Lucier, she does a 30-day list building challenge that I think is fantastic. So I'll link to all of those 30-day challenges. And they're a lot of fun. You can use imagery and hashtags and all this good stuff to get people around this movement that you're creating. And I think that you'll enjoy it just as much as your audience will as well. So that's another way to do a mini promo where you offer something at the end. Okay, moving on to hidden money opportunity number 3. And this one is all about creating a 4-part email sequence that leads to an offer. Now, before you start to say this one's not for you because you don't have a big list, you do not need a big list. In fact, I want you to try this one when your list is still small because you're going to learn a lot from it, get better and better at it. And then as your list grows, these 4-part email sequences are going to crush it for your list. So these sequences are just what I've said. They're 4 emails that get sent over a short period of time. And your goal is to paint the picture of a challenge you know your audience is facing. And of course, your program is that solution. But you have 4 emails to do it. So in that first email, you're just easing people into the idea that you know there's a challenge and you have the solution. But you need to make it really actionable, meaning let them learn something in that first email so that you get their attention and they know that you're there to offer value. Now, the reason why, before I get into the specifics of this 4-part email sequence, I jumped ahead of myself. The reason why this one's so powerful is that people on your list might have already received an opportunity to buy your program, but they didn't buy. We all buy at different times, and most of us need a few different opportunities to buy before we even make the decision that we want to do it. So don't be afraid to put this out in front of people that have already seen your program promotion because maybe they just weren't ready to buy then. Now, let's get back to how this would work. So you're offering value from the get-go. Email number 1, it's a content-rich email where you give value in a way that helps your audience. And in that email, you're going to gently mention that you have this program that they can take advantage of to get results. So you're offering value, it's content-rich, maybe painting the picture of the challenge you know they're facing, and then the solution is your program. Now, from there, the emails that follow, you're going to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of selling the program, but you're not going to be aggressive in a spammy way. You're going to tell them that you've got this program and here's what's in it for them. You talk about the benefits, not the features, not the fact that it's 3 videos and transcripts and audio. You're talking about the benefits. It's going to help them do X, Y, Z. It's going to solve the problem of whatever it is you solve. It's going to take away that stress and overwhelm around whatever it is. You're filling in the blanks here, but you're making it about them and you're really telling the story of the benefits so that they get why they need it. You can use case studies. You can use stories. You can use examples. These emails are meaty. They're not just really short emails that have a link to your sales page. They're meaty emails that actually paint the picture. You can use images, different screenshots from inside your program if that would make more sense to you. So you're going to use all of your different ideas that you have to promote this program, and you're going to make them into these 4 different emails. You're leading people to the sale in each of the emails. Now that final one is going to be the scarcity, the one that has the most scarcity. You can actually say that you're running a special promotion, maybe a discount or a free bonus when they purchase by a certain date. So you can do this either evergreen and have it going out, to all the new people that join your email list after a while, after they've gotten some value. So you can program it that way, or you can make it very time sensitive, where today you're going to start this promotion and you tell people by Friday, this offer's going away. That's going to definitely get you that instant cash. So with this, that final email, you're going to tell them, this is the final email I'm sending you about this opportunity. You're not going to get another opportunity to get, let's say, this bonus when you purchase. And you can even put a countdown timer inside of an email. It's HTML. You've got to Google it. But you might have seen some of my emails come out during Profit Lab. When we're down to the last day, you open your email and there's an actual moving countdown timer that you'll see. The seconds are moving as you're reading the email. Pretty cool, right? So that's another thing you can do. Scarcity is so important for all these hidden treasures because my goal for you is to make money now. Get that boost of instant cash so you can do what you want to do or fund that business that might be struggling just a little bit right now because you haven't taken action recently. So just think of it in that way. So a 4-part video series could do just that. Moving on to hidden money opportunity number 4. And this one is all about offering your services to your audience. But there's a huge caveat with this one. So stay with me here. I am passionate about teaching you how to build a business that does not rely on you trading your time for dollars. I'm not a huge fan of the service model of business. One, because it just doesn't work for me. I really enjoy creating online training programs and having a more automated business that I still get to connect with my audience, just not on a one-on-one service-based level. Now, that might be your business and that might be working great for you. And I love that. Do what works best for you and what you enjoy. But if you're trying to build an online business where you're not trading dollars for hours, but you're looking for faster income right now, so a boost of revenue, this might be the way to go. So here's the deal. I want you to look at this one as a temporary opportunity to a select few on your email list. So what you're going to do is if you have a special skill or a knowledge base, which I know you do, that your audience could take advantage of, you can create an opportunity to offer your time and services to this audience for a premium. Now, again, you would only do this for a small group of people. So let me tell you how I did this in my probably first 2 years of business. I set up an opportunity where I would review your Facebook marketing strategy. So I'd go on your Facebook page, I'd review that, I'd review your profile, I would interview you to ask questions about how you're using Facebook and what your program or product is and how that's coming into play on Facebook and all that good stuff. So I would do this audit of your Facebook marketing. And then I would go off and create a report, and I had a template for it, so it wouldn't take me hours and hours. Create a report to offer you insight in ways that you can make your Facebook marketing better, how to brand your Facebook page in a different way to get a bigger impact, all that good stuff. I knew Facebook so well that this wasn't tons of time and energy, but it was really valuable to my audience. And so for a while, I actually sold this service. And it ranged from $97, I did a really light audit, up to about $300. And I would only take on a few a week, but that was instant revenue that I needed as I continued to build my online training programs. So I love this model when it's temporary, it's premium, and it's to just a select few based on your opportunity or your availability to spend time on this. This is not something that I want to take over your business so that all your other products are derailed while you start offering the service. This is a little bit on the back burner for a little extra cash. Do you get it? I know I'm really like drilling in on that part, but I don't want you to change your business model for this hidden money opportunity. But we all have skills like consulting and coaching. Maybe you're a nutritionist and you can help people make, let's say a 30-day meal plan for them. And that's something that definitely is duplicatable, and you can have a template for them. So just think of your niche and think, what can I offer that's not going to derail me on the projects I'm working on now, but will help boost revenue for a short time as I get things going? So offering a service is definitely one way you can do that. Just promise me you won't let it derail you from getting that online training program done or writing that email sequence you've been wanting to write forever. That stuff's the most important, but this definitely is a hidden money opportunity for a quick win. Okay, we're moving into the final hidden money opportunity, number 5, and it is all about becoming an affiliate to someone else's program or product. Now, this isn't a new opportunity. You've heard of this one before, but have you actually done it, and have you done it right? The reason I save this one to the end is because you can become an affiliate of somebody else's program or product or service and use some of the opportunities I talked about, the webinars, the 30-day challenge, the mini live promo that I told you about, the 4-part email sequence. Those can be all used as an affiliate as well. Now, I've been an affiliate for many years for different programs and products, and I'm a huge fan of this model. I don't let it take over my business, and I definitely never want it to make more money than my own programs because my brand and what I teach is most important to me. But it definitely complements all of the stuff I'm doing on my own. B-School, you probably heard me talk about that in episode number 45. That is a huge part of my affiliate revenue. I'm a proud member of B-School, and I promote it any chance I can get because I know it changes lives and businesses. I'm also an affiliate of Lead Pages, which you heard about earlier in this episode. They do amazing things, and they've changed businesses quickly based on how easy their tool is. So definitely B-School. And then there's a few other programs and products that I will definitely promote because I believe in. So I want to give you 3 smart tips for affiliate marketing. And that first tip is basically what I just alluded to. You have to believe in it. You have to have used it, know that it works, have your own results that you can talk about, and be so excited to sing its praises. You know you've made a good affiliate marketing partnership or connection when you just will tell everybody about it, even if you're not going to get money for it. Like I'll be at an event and I'll tell somebody you've got to go get Lead Pages. I don't give them my affiliate link. I don't tell them where to go on my website. I could, but in those moments, sometimes that's a little awkward. So I just tell them you need Lead Pages. If you're going to tell people about it, whether you get paid or not, that's when you know it's a really good affiliate connection there. Another thing to think about is, again, what I mentioned just at the beginning of this hidden treasure, build a funnel with your affiliate promo. You can do a live event with Lead Pages. I do that all the time. We do live webinars together and they work really well. One of the main people, Tim Page at Lead Pages, is an amazing webinar host. And so I bring him on. I fill up the webinars with people I know will find it valuable. He pretty much runs the webinar and I just pitch in and jump in once in a while. It's a really easy webinar for me and incredibly valuable. So webinars and 4-part email sequence and mini trainings, all of that works. Also, if you go to amyporterfield.com/new leads, that's an affiliate promotion, but I did a training for it. I literally walk you through how to use lead pages. So I'm never going to ask you to use my affiliate link and purchase something if I don't first offer immense value. Like for B-School, I have an entire B-School bonus experience, 5 bonuses that you can't get anywhere else, including a live 2-day event, including a special Facebook ads program, including my new webinar program that's not even out yet. Like you get this stuff in B-School when you use my affiliate link. You've got to make it worth their while. So you've got to do the work, but affiliate marketing is so much more streamlined for a business that's just starting out because you don't have to create the program or product or service. This is a great thing to do when you are still working on your own online training program. So it doesn't have to be incredibly cheap or incredibly expensive. The price point is not necessarily what you want to look for when you become an affiliate. You want to make sure that you believe in the product because I do, B-School's $2,000 and Lead Pages is a few $100s, dramatically different. You just want to appeal to what you know your audience will find immense value in. So just something to think about there. And then the third affiliate marketing tip I want to give you is to go check out a really great article that my good friend Pat Flynn of Smart Passive Income has on his blog. It's actually not a brand new blog post, but still incredibly relevant. So the date doesn't matter. It's called 5 Ways to Unbox the Mystery and Increase Your Affiliate Income. I thought it was a really smart strategy for affiliate marketing, especially for those just starting out. I'll link to the article in my show notes. So definitely check that out. Oh, and he has another great article, How to Stop Hoping and Start Earning. So I'll link to those articles. He definitely is the go-to guy when it comes to affiliate marketing because he's all about passive income. So he's a great guy for that. So definitely go check that out. It's worth the read for both of those blog posts. Okay, before we get into the final wrap-up, I want to review the 5 hidden money opportunities that we just went over today. Number 1, finish your online training program. As Seth Godin would say, ship it. Number 2, do a mini promotion and make an offer. That's where the webinars, the 30-day challenge, the live trainings, that's where they come into play. Number 3, create a 4-part email sequence that leads to an offer. Doesn't matter how big or small your list is. Number 4, offer your services at a premium price to a select group of your audience. Don't let this one take over your business. And number 5, become an affiliate to someone else's program or product that you believe in and you're passionate about. Now I'm looking forward to hearing which one you choose. So there you have it. I hope this episode has inspired you to find some hidden money opportunities in your own business. Now, I can't wait to hear what you find. So when you do find that opportunity that's right for you, make sure to post it on my Facebook page and let me know what you've done because I'm always so curious how my listeners actually use these steps and tips and strategies and everything like that I put out there. So keep me posted. Now you can get all the links to the resources I mentioned in this episode, and there were a lot of them, at amyporterfield.com/46. And lastly, if you want it, don't forget to download the Course Creation Starters Guide I created to get you moving in the right direction with your program creation. So this is the free PDF giveaway that I mentioned in the hidden opportunity number 1 about finishing your online course. Now, even if you're already working on your online course, there's a section in that guide called the 7 power tools that I use to create all of my online courses. So that might be really valuable to you as well. So all you need to do is go to amyporterfield.com/46 download and you can get it instantly. Or if you like to text, just text 46 download to the number 38470. So that's 46 download to the number 38470, and I'll send it to you right away. I cannot wait to hear about everything you create, so promise to stay in touch. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I can't wait to connect with you again soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast at www.amyporterfield.com.